Bilkis Bano hearing in the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has used some strong words in a petition relating to the release of the convicts in this particular case. They've said, how can you compare apples with oranges? How can you compare the murder of a single person with mass murder of multiple persons? This is some of the comments coming on the part of the Supreme Court of the Gujarat government. Remember that these are all oral observations. They've also said that every action should be for the public good and that this is a crime against a community and society. The Gujarat government, however, wants to file a review against the Supreme Court's order to produce all the files pertaining to the remission of the convicts involved in this particular matter. Remember that the accusations that they faced and for which they were convicted for included gang rape as well as having murdered Bilkis Bano's 3-year-old child. The Gujarat government has said that they will not produce the files and that they're willing to in fact seek a review of the order directing them to produce those files. The Supreme Court has also questioned the parole that was given for a period of almost 1,000 to 1,500 days in this particular matter. They've also asked as to whether or not this kind of a so-called luxury, that's not their words, but they've said, is this something that's also available to ordinary citizens? Let me go across to Harish for more on this. Harish, very strong observations being made by the Supreme Court bench hearing this matter. And one big revelation coming from the Gujarat government is that they do not wish to produce all the files in this case. And for that particular directive that's been issued to them, they're willing to file a review petition.
Yes, Siddharth, very big development happening in Supreme Court as far as the Bilkis Bano matter is concerned. Remember, Bilkis Bano herself has challenged the release of 11 convicts in her case. Now the Supreme Court has challenged. In fact, the bench led by Justice K.M. Joseph has just now slammed the Gujarat government for release of the convicts and has asked, how can you compare apples with oranges? How can you compare murder of a single person with mass murder of multiple persons? And every action should be for public good. This is a crime against the community, society, and a very big development, a related development, as you rightly said. Gujarat government has refused to submit the records and files pertaining to grant of remission to the Supreme Court. Gujarat government says that it has problems in submitting the files as sought by the K.M. Joseph bench, saying that it has plans to file a review against last time's order to the Gujarat government to produce the remission files. Gujarat government says will not produce files. Supreme Court also questioned the parole given between 1,000 to 1,500 days to some of the convicts and asked whether is such a facility, such a relief available to ordinary citizens. So Supreme Court has pulled up the Gujarat government. Prima facie, it is not happy the way this relief has been handled. The Supreme Court said, though, as per several Supreme Court judgments, this state has the discretion as far as grant of remission is concerned.
Correct.
The question is whether it was for public good and whether it is incommensurate with the crime committed.
Absolutely, Harish, and one of the